How's it going, everybody? I'm back. I am not an attorney and this is not legal advice. If you want legal advice, please contact an attorney. I'm making this video for the few people out there that still believe the system is fair and just. Most of us know it's corrupt and it's about, people's pension funds because they don't pay taxes like we do. And it has to do with, their stockholders. So that's just reality. But for the few of you out there that still believe it's about, justice, I'm making this video for you, okay? And I'm giving you reasons why I believe that it's not fair and just, okay? It's not. Reason number one, and it has to do with attorneys. If you ever plan on getting an attorney, private or a public defender, just keep this in mind. Cops give you a ticket and provide the attorneys with clients. So this is like, you can already see it's a scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. So these cops provide attorneys with many clients. Usually these cops provide only certain attorneys, which are the ones that work for the city. These private attorneys that work in there, or once in a while there's people from other places that are visiting, and so they get their own attorneys. But for the most part, it's really the cops harassing the citizens that live in the city, which is kind of ironic. But so the cop gives the attorney a client, and so therefore the attorney is not going to shred this cop to pieces in court. What's he going to do? Well, 9 times out of 10 he's going to tell you, hey, do a plea bargain. It's the best thing you can do. Okay. People don't even know what the hell they're getting into, and they're just saying okay anyways. So keep that in mind. Now, if the attorney were to really do his job, he would have to expose a lot of things. Number one, if the cop lies on the police report, if the cop even had any probable cause to stop you, if the cop violated your Miranda rights, for example, if the cop violated any of your rights, that's just with the cop. The attorney can also prove if the judge is incompetent, okay, if the court lacks subject matter jurisdiction, if it lacks in personam jurisdiction, if the court, if there's a judge that's biased against you, do a peremptory challenge. So the attorney, politically speaking, that's not wise, of course, because now he's going to look bad with his colleagues and his bosses or whatever they are to him, okay? And keep in mind that he has probably 10 to 15 more people that he has to help, so once he's done making the judge look stupid and the cop's crooked and you win your case, you can always come back now and sue the city. Not very smart, so they don't want any of that, okay? Because that's really what should be happening in every case when you win. But so that you don't win, they'll say, well, let's do a plea bargain. So now you can't come back and sue, from what I understand, because you've admitted guilt. You admitted that they were right. There's times where even there's cops that make people sign warrants. Warrants. They sign some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? What was it that they made them sign? Some kind of agreement or something like that, or so that they can come and do some kind of search. That was a consent form. There you go. And of course they had these people sign it after the fact. And we all know that when they go to court, they're going to say, well, we went there and we asked them first, and then after we asked them, we signed, and this is what we found. They do it all the time. They're crooked. But keep in mind, a real private attorney would expose that, or even a public defender would expose that, and they can't, because now you can come back and sue the crap out of the city. So as far as an attorney goes, personally, I would never get one. I'd rather read the Criminal Code of Procedures myself, and I'll pretty much know more than the DA already as it is, because they're so used to cutting deals. Or few of them that are worth their salt. Few of them know how to argue law. The most are just nothing but, deal cutters, basically. So that's number one. Number two, if you want to file motions, clerks working for the court make it super hard. Case in point, I remember when I would go, when I first went to the city of Glendale and I filed a motion, they told me you can't file it. It's the city of Glendale Police Department. It doesn't say people of the state. I said, well, there's no complaint. There's no DA. How the hell is it the people if only the DA can represent the state? Well, I can't give you legal advice because you're right, basically. But I can give you legal advice as to why you can't. So, the game is rigged. The decks are stacked. Okay? So it's an uphill battle from the beginning. Now, keep in mind that I would also be in line, and as I'm walking, because it's my turn now to walk up to the window, as I'm walking to the window, I would already have a bailiff coming up to me as if I had already done something. But it's only because they knew who I was and I was going to file motions. Not once would I scream at the court clerks. I want to get hostile with them. But of course, I'm causing problems because I'm asking too many questions. I'm filing too many motions. I'm making a record that this is illegal. The laws are not illegal. It's just the operation is unconstitutional, which is what we're pretty much close to proving pretty soon in federal court. Getting injunctive relief, but that's a different story. So, the clerks also, I've seen, try to get me mad. They'll say, you can't do this, you can't do that, and I mean, will be straight up rude with you, only to get you upset, so you can start raising your voice just a little bit. Or you can curse once or twice. Now they can call the bailiffs and say, get him out of here. Oh, sir, you need to leave. And it happened to me one time, and I was not even getting loud with them. I was just asking questions that they honestly knew. And she would say, I don't know. Well, I'm sorry, man, but is there a supervisor or someone that does know? No, they're all on lunch. Okay, well, okay, I can wait. No, sir, you need to leave. What? I mean, and of course, these are the great people at the city of Glendale. And, so, I mean, I wasn't surprised anyways, but, the bailiff told me to leave once, and I left. Okay, let me tell you why this has to happen. If a cop tells me something once, I will do it as far as leaving a bailiff, or sheriff, whatever they are, in the courts. I would have to, because I've seen them do this as well. Okay, I'm at the window, sir, you need to leave, and then the bailiff comes, sir, is there, and then they'll ignore me, and they'll say, is there a problem, ma'am? Yes, he's causing, a disturbance, whatever the case may be. Okay, sir, you need to leave now. And mind you, my paperwork isn't even filed yet. I said, okay, sir. And I just walked out. Why? Because I can always come back tomorrow. That's fine. But I've seen them where someone would say, but I'm just trying to file this. Sir, you need to leave now. But sir, can I just file this real quick, please? Okay, you're under arrest. Boom, that's it. Now you got a different charge added onto that. So that's how they play the game. Okay? Keep that in mind, folks. Be very careful, because it's like the Matrix. Everybody is your enemy, and until you find out they're your enemy, it's going to be too late. But no, that's my point. So these clerks, of course, are lightening the load for the prosecution, because now instead of getting an opposition, a motion of opposition to your motion that maybe isn't right, of course, the clerks are trying to do the work of the DA, if there even is one, of course, or they're doing it for the judge, because the judge should be saying, sir, your motion is denied, whatever the case may be, because you didn't follow this or that. Okay, so keep that in mind. Number 3, okay, we're only at 3. Judges do the attorney's job, if not help cover for them. Now, let me explain how they do the jobs of the attorneys. In the state of California, for every infraction citation, there is no district attorney. It's only you, the judge, and the cop. So, the first question is, Your Honor, for the record, are you here on behalf of the city of Glendale? And then the judge was like, no. Are you on behalf of the people of the state of California? Why, yes. Talk about a conflict of interest. Now, how can he be impartial and unbiased? He can't. But of course, even if you bring that up, they won't care. They'll just move forward. Because it's the illusion of being fair just to rob you and take your money. So, who is representing the people of the state of California in this case for every infraction case? The officer? Yeah, well, maybe, who knows? So, all the motions, if you ever file any motions, at least in the state of California, or honestly, pretty much in any state that there is no district attorney, which mostly is for infractions. There's some states that they actually have a district attorney. But if there is no district attorney or any city attorney, then the motions that are unopposed should be going through. But what happens? The judge will say denied. Oh, this is incorrect because of this, or it's incorrect because of that. Or let's just say it's correct. It's denied because it's frivolous. They won't even give you a reason, because they're covering their butts for reversible error. Now, of course, they're not stupid either. I mean, not that there is a record, but just in case you're recording and they're going to end up on YouTube. Kind of thing, I guess. Who knows? I don't know. So my point is that that's how they'll do their job. I've even argued the district attorney never responded. The motions are unopposed. I'm moving this court to dismiss. Oh, overruled. Denied. Now, let's just say that there is a district attorney if you're charged with a misdemeanor or a felony in any state. Well, what's going to happen is if you go ahead and file motions that the district attorney can't respond to because he's so incompetent, or maybe just doesn't have time because he's swamped or she's swamped with a lot of work, then the judge will still deny your motions. Or he'll give the district attorney more time to come up with a response, and I've seen that happen many times, violating court rules, or even violating the statute of limitations or speedy trial. They do all the time. They do it all the time. It's just what they do. Because that way people don't know how to respond for the most part. And that's just, they do it out of our own ignorance. And even if we do respond with the proper procedures and the proper motions, they'll just deny them, and that's it. So that's how these judges are doing the jobs for the attorneys. If not helping them, he's covering for them. Okay, number 4. When you lose, you pay into a system that these people are getting paid by. So you got the cops that'll lie to get you into court, and you got the district attorneys that are gonna charge you, sometimes even exaggerate something. Then you got the public defenders that are only gonna cut a deal because they're not gonna argue for you. There's too many people that they're violating their rights, so they don't have time to really defend you. They have to just screw you over, sail you down the river, and hope that you're gonna believe them and not yourself as to that there's something wrong with the system. Okay? And so once you cut this plea bargain, now you can't come back and sue them, because if you were to win, you can come back and sue them. Okay, if you know how to sue them, of course, that's another thing. Okay, so then you got these court clerks that if you want to file motions that you've taken time to study, out of your day, out of your life to study, you want to file motions, and now there's another law in place for you, and then you got the bailiffs right there next to them that are, quick to want to beat you up and tase you and charge you with some new stuff. So, like I said, the game is rigged, the decks are stacked, okay? And no matter what, it's all about fighting from the beginning, from the get-go. You have to fight. So I personally, I would never get a private attorney or a public defender, because the judge is my enemy, the court is the battlefield, okay? The district attorney is his right-hand man, and any private attorney or public defender is going to be their spy. And if you don't believe that, when you get one, you'll see that they never file one motion. I always file 5 to 10 motions for an infraction. Can you imagine for a misdemeanor or felony how many more motions should be filed? They never file anything. Because one of the reasons why I believe they don't, okay, number 1, they're not making a record for appeal. That's 1. But number 2, since they're not making a record for appeal and they're not really defending you, they're just saying things and arguing it orally, like they're doing, for example, oral motions. Let's just say he really is trying to screw you and wants to even bill you again. Let's just say this private attorney wants to say, hey, you know what? You gave me $7,000. Now I want $2 more thousand. You're saying, well, no. What the hell? I thought you said, well, you know what? They changed this or they did that or whatever the case may be. Well, because he argued it, most of it orally, and he never filed any motions. If you ever fire him and get another attorney, let's just say she comes into play and she says, okay, well, let me look at the case, and there's like nothing filed. She's going to say, well, what did he do? And then you start explaining it to her. It's so complicated because, unless she gets the recordings from the court, how much time is that going to take anyways? It'll be much easier if it's on paperwork. If she can see all the paperwork, you know what I mean? If it's not on paper, then guess what? She's going to say, you know what, this is too complicated, sorry. It's almost as if you're forced to go back to that same incompetent attorney or crooked attorney, whatever you want to call them. That's just how they do it. So be very careful, folks, and that's why I believe that the system is corrupt, that all of these people with their private pensions that don't pay taxes the way we do are about robbing us blind. And so forgive me if I don't have faith in the system, and I rather defend myself to the point where I file many motions and set it up for appeal so that I can go into federal court at a later date. That's just me. However, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you guys agree with what I'm saying, and if not, I'm sure many of you have your own experiences as far as how crooked they can be in court and even out of court with these cops doing what they're doing. So let me know what you guys think, and of course if you're a cop, judge, attorney, or court clerk, or work for the system in any way, shape, or form, I'm sure you're going to be upset, but that's just how it goes. Sorry for exposing you guys, but somebody has to do it, and I haven't seen anybody on YouTube saying this kind of stuff, yet millions of people deal with this every day. So it just boggles the mind that nobody has the courage to stand up and actually expose this, even if it is verbally. So enjoy, guys.